This documentary examines the real disappearance of a minor. No graphic content is shown. Viewer discretion is advised. On a quiet morning in England, a 14-year-old boy left his home for school. He never came back. He didn't take a phone. He didn't pack any clothes. He didn't leave a note. Instead, he walked to a train station and bought a one-way ticket to London. CCTV cameras watched him walk out of the station and into the bustling city. And then, he vanished. No body, no confirmed sightings, no answers. For years, this case has been a chilling void, a story without an ending. But what if the silence is finally about to break? Recent arrests have thrown this cold case wide open, suggesting the truth might be darker than anyone ever imagined. This is the disappearance of Andrew Gosden. Andrew Gosden wasn't a rebellious teenager. He wasn't known to be troubled or to lie to his family. By all accounts, he was a quiet, intelligent boy with a remarkable gift for mathematics. He was a scholarship student at his local school, described by his teachers as polite, reserved, and exceptionally bright. He lived in Doncaster, a town in South Yorkshire, England, with his parents, Kevin and Glenys, and his older sister, Charlotte. It was a stable, loving home. Andrew had a perfect attendance record at school and had never run away before. Nothing about his life or his personality suggested he was the kind of person who would want to disappear, which is precisely what makes the events of September 14, 2007 so profoundly disturbing and difficult to comprehend. He was a homebody, content with his books, video games, and family. The picture painted is one of normalcy, making his sudden, inexplicable actions all the more haunting. That day began like any other Friday. Andrew woke up, put on his school uniform, and left the house at his usual time. His father, Kevin, remembered him seeming a little irritable that morning, but it was nothing out of the ordinary for a teenager. Andrew walked the usual route toward his school bus stop, but he never got on the bus. Instead, once out of his parents' sight, he waited until his family had left the house for work, then doubled back. He went back inside his empty home, went up to his bedroom, and changed out of his uniform into casual clothes, a black Slipknot t-shirt and black jeans. He took his wallet, his house keys, and his PSP gaming console, but left the charger behind. Then, he quietly closed the front door and walked away. His destination was the Doncaster train station. There, he went to the ticket counter and purchased a one-way ticket to London King's Cross, not a return ticket. Not an open-ended ticket that would allow him to come back whenever he wanted. A single, one-way journey. He paid for it with cash he had withdrawn from his bank account just a day or two earlier. No one at the station stopped him or questioned why a 14-year-old boy was traveling alone on a school day. He boarded the 9:35 a.m. train and began the 2-hour trip to the capital. At 11:25 a.m., the train pulled into London's King's Cross station, one of the busiest transport hubs in the country. CCTV cameras captured the definitive, and now iconic, image of Andrew Gosden. He is seen walking purposefully through the main concourse and out the main entrance. He looks calm, unhurried, and completely alone. This single, grainy image is the last confirmed sighting of Andrew Gosden on Earth. After he stepped out of that station and onto the London streets, he effectively disappeared from recorded history. In the minutes, hours, and days that followed, there were no verified sightings, no witnesses who could definitively say they saw him, and no electronic trail to follow. He walked out of the camera's view and into a complete mystery. The silence that followed was absolute and terrifying. What a person takes with them when they leave can tell you a lot about their intentions. But in Andrew's case, it's what he didn't take that deepens the mystery. In his bedroom, police found his school blazer and tie folded neatly over a chair. More importantly, he left behind his mobile phone, sitting on his desk, along with its charger. For a teenager in 2007, leaving a phone behind was highly unusual. He also left behind the charger for his PSP, meaning he could only play it until the battery ran out. He didn't pack a backpack, no spare clothes, not even a jacket, despite the September weather. He didn't take his passport. The small amount of cash he had on him was all he had. If he was planning to run away and start a new life, it was an incredibly poor plan. He had no means to contact anyone, no way to access more money, and no extra clothes. This lack of preparation has led many investigators to believe that whatever Andrew went to London for, he fully expected to return home, perhaps even on the same day. Over the years, as the case grew colder, theories began to multiply, each trying to explain the unexplainable. What could possibly draw a quiet, gifted boy like Andrew to London on his own? One popular theory was that he was going to a concert. He was a fan of rock and metal bands, and London is a major hub for live music. Investigators checked the schedules for all venues, looking for gigs by bands Andrew liked, such as Slipknot, Muse, or 30 Seconds to Mars. They found nothing that seemed to fit. Another possibility was that he was meeting someone, perhaps a friend, or even a relative who lived in London that his family didn't know about. But the most sinister version of this theory is online grooming. The police found no evidence on his computer that he was communicating with anyone secretly. Yet, something specific must have drawn him to London that day. It wasn't a random decision. The question remains, what was the pull? A person, a place, or an event? From the very beginning, the investigation was hampered by critical missteps. When Andrew didn't return from school that evening, his parents were immediately frantic. But when they reported him missing, the police initially treated it as a standard teenage runaway case. This assumption proved to be a disastrous mistake. Precious time was lost. The most glaring failure was with the CCTV footage. The police requested the footage from King's Cross Station, but they didn't specifically request footage from the surrounding tube stations or the buses leaving the area. By the time they realized their oversight, the footage from those other transport systems had been automatically wiped, as was standard procedure after a set number of days. If Andrew had boarded a bus or a tube train after leaving King's Cross, the video evidence of where he went next was lost forever. This lost opportunity has haunted the case ever since. In any missing persons investigation, the first 48 hours are the most critical. For Andrew Gosden, that window closed without the full force of a major investigation behind it. For Andrew's parents, the years that followed were an agonizing cycle of hope and despair. They have never stopped searching. Their home became the headquarters for the campaign to find their son. Posters with Andrew's face, digitally aged as the years went by, became a familiar sight across the UK. They gave countless interviews, pleading for information, keeping his story alive in the public consciousness. Occasional tips and potential sightings would surface, causing a brief surge of hope, but each one led to a dead end. One man was arrested after claiming on an online forum to know what happened, but it was a cruel hoax. Andrew Gosden's disappearance became one of Britain's most haunting and well-known missing person cases, precisely because there was no crime scene, no motive, and no ending. It was a story frozen in time, stuck on that single CCTV image from King's Cross Station. The questions in this case are relentless and refuse to die. Why buy a one-way ticket if he planned to return? Was it a simple mistake by a nervous teenager, or was it intentional? Did someone meet him just beyond the view of the station cameras? Someone he knew and trusted? And the most chilling question of all, how does a 14-year-old boy simply vanish in broad daylight from the heart of one of the world's busiest, most watched cities, without leaving a single trace behind? For over a decade, there were no answers, just silence. But then, in late 2021, everything changed. Police announced the arrest of 2 men on suspicion of kidnapping and human trafficking in connection with Andrew's case. Devices were seized, and a new, active line of inquiry was finally underway. While the details of these arrests are still under wraps, they represent the most significant development in this case in 14 years. They offer a glimmer of hope that Andrew's family may finally get the answers they have so desperately waited for. The story of Andrew Gosden is not over, and until those answers come, his case remains open. a heartbreaking reminder of a boy who walked out of a station and into a mystery.